Okay, my name is Miranda Rudin. This is my persuasive speech for COM 101576. And the topic I chose to talk about was how diet is linked to cancer, specifically how meat-based diets tend to cause cancer, while plant-based diets will prevent cancer. So cancer is the second leading cause of death in the U.S., just behind heart disease. Cancer is very aggressive and in many cases deadly. And according to the documentary Forks Over Knives by Dr. Colin Campbell, 1 out of every 3 Americans will develop some form of cancer in their lifetime. While the U.S. has some of the best emergency care in the world, we lack on our regular everyday medical care, for too many physicians and patients are too focused on treating cancer and not focused enough on preventing cancer. So in other words, there's very little cancer prevention in this country and too much focus on cancer treatment. If prevention was used as a form of medicine, then cancer treatment would never be needed in the first place. While medications and medical operations do offer some solutions to cancer, in the long run, cancer can still be fatal in spite of drugs and surgery, and that is ultimately because diet alone plays the largest role in prevention and development of cancer. Whether one has a family risk of cancer or is currently fighting cancer, lifestyle choices like diet make a significant impact in preventing and fighting cancer. Cancer is not completely an inherited fate, as so many people believe. Science has now verified that diet alone plays the largest role in prevention and progression of cancer. Specifically, a plant-based diet is the best form of medicine against 3 of our nation's leading killers: breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer. One of the biggest medical myths today, as I kind of just mentioned, is that cancer is strictly an inherited fate. Blaming genes as the cause of cancer is easier than believing that diet is truly the killer. While one may be genetically vulnerable to cancer, diet and other lifestyle choices play a much larger role in cancer development than any genetic risk. For example, according to the article Lifetime Physical Fitness and Wellness, only around 5% or fewer cases of cancer overall are truly caused by genes alone. That's a very little amount. So therefore, it's not the deadly genes that run in families, but the deadly lifestyles. Dietary and sedentary lifestyles get passed down through families, which is the true link between cancer and family members. And this is a quote from Dr. Colin Campbell's The China Study. He says, "Even if you have a high genetic risk of cancer, a healthy plant-based diet is capable of negating most, if not all, of that risk by controlling the expression of these genes." So I want to kind of talk about the problems with the typical American diet. Americans have a tendency to thrive on very westernized meat-based diets that rely heavily on meat, eggs, and dairy for the primary nutrition sources. There's 4 main reasons why this diet is harmful to the body. The first is that meat-based diets contain carcinogens. Carcinogens are cancer-causing agents. Data suggests that broiling, frying, or grilling meat, poultry, and fish tends to cause carcinogens to form in the food. The second reason that meat-based diets are harmful to the body is that they contain an overload of animal protein. And contrary to what many people believe, nutritional guidelines actually discourage excessive intakes of animal proteins. And specifically, it's because too many animal proteins in the body tend to lower our blood enzymes that prevent precancerous cells from growing into tumors. The third reason that meat-based diets are harmful to the body and can lead to cancer is that they contain too many saturated fats. Saturated fats are the bad fats in our body, and an excessive intake of saturated fats is linked to obesity. Therefore, a high-fat diet indirectly increases cancer risk and progresses tumor growth through excessive body weight. The last reason that meat-based diets are harmful to the body is that they lack cancer-fighting agents known as antioxidants. Plant-based diets, unlike meat-based ones, contain antioxidants that prevent and even destroy cancerous tumors. Antioxidants are only found in plant-based sources such as soy, teas, fruits, and vegetables. Specifically, antioxidants help fight cancer by hindering angiogenesis, and angiogenesis is the formation of blood vessels into cancerous tumors. Without blood vessels, the cancerous tumors can't grow and thrive, so therefore, if angiogenesis is hindered, then the cancerous tumors cannot grow. Antioxidants also work by latching onto free radicals in the body that would otherwise latch onto healthy tissues. So therefore, if these free radicals can't attach to healthy tissues, they can't cause cancer. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the first major cancer in this country, that is breast cancer. Breast cancer is one of the leading cancers in this country and is nowadays preventable and in some cases even reversible. There's a very alarming statistic I found in the China study. It says 1 out of every 8 women will be diagnosed with this disease in her lifetime, which is one of the highest rates in the world. In the same study, it says that less than 3% of all breast cancer cases are credited to family history alone. So again, it's a very small number, so genes really don't play that big of a role at all in developing breast cancer. There's 4 major risk factors directly linked to nutrition when it comes to breast cancer. A Cambridge study found that diets high in saturated fats, which are only found in meat and animal products, tend to lead to breast cancer. Excessive fats cause breast cancer in 4 major ways. They cause early age of menopause, high levels of female hormones, early age of puberty, and high blood cholesterol. And this is another quote from Dr. Campos' the China study. He says that exposure to excessive amounts of female hormones, such as estrogen and progesterone, lead to an increased risk of breast cancer. Women who consume a diet rich in animal-based foods tend to reach puberty earlier and menopause later, extending their reproductive lives, which can ultimately lead to the formation of breast cancer. So overall, to prevent breast cancer, a plant-based diet, one low in saturated fats and low in cholesterol, should be consumed to keep hormone levels and fat intake under control. One of the second major cancers in this country is colon cancer. It is the 4th most common cancer worldwide. It's the 2nd most common cancer in the U.S., right behind lung cancer in terms of mortality rates. When it comes to colon cancer, diet plays a very, very big role in prevention and development, while genes play a nearly non-existent role. A meta-analysis of 24 studies indicated a 35% increased risk of colon cancer in people who ate red meat and a 31% increase in people who ate processed meat compared to those who ate little or no meat at all. And then a study from Harvard University of both men and women found that overall regular meat consumption increases colon cancer by a whopping 300%. Plant-based diets will prevent colon cancer because they provide adequate amounts of dietary fiber. While fiber is very abundant in a plant-based diet, it is nearly non-existent in a meat and animal-based diet. Fiber is thought by scientists to play a large role in preventing colon cancer because consuming fiber decreases the risk of colon cancer by about 43%. Naturally, as meat intake decreases, fiber intake will decrease because, like I said, fiber is only found in plant-based foods. The last type of cancer I'm going to talk about that is heavily linked to diet is prostate cancer. It's most commonly diagnosed cancers among men in the U.S., and it represents about 25% of all cancerous tumors. Nearly 1/2 of men ages 70 and older have a form of prostate cancer known as latent prostate cancer, which is a silent form of cancer that is not yet causing any problems. Prostate cancer does have some genetic components, but diet plays a very large role in prevention and development, just as with breast cancer and colon cancer. Dairy consumption is the most consistent link between diet and prostate cancer. A Harvard study states that one of the most consistent dietary predictors of prostate cancer is dairy intake. Men who consume the most dairy have double to quadruple the risk of developing prostate cancer, and that comes from Dr. Campos' the China study. Dairy is too high in minerals like phosphorus and calcium, and also too high in animal proteins, and excessive amounts of animal proteins as well as some of these minerals are harmful to the body. Men need to be conscious to limit their intake of dairy consumption and other animal proteins, and calcium should come from green leafy vegetables or milk alternatives like almond milk or soy milk that contain adequate amounts of calcium without all the excessive amounts of animal proteins. In conclusion, the U.S. should be very concerned with our startling rates of cancer. Cancer is the 2nd leading cause of death in this country and quickly becoming the 1st. Cancer is now preventable, for science has now verified that diet alone plays the largest role in cancer prevention and progression and is the best form of medicine against 3 of our nation's leading killers: breast cancer, colon cancer, and prostate cancer. Clinical research has proven overall that a plant-based diet advocates are 8 times less likely to develop breast cancer, 300% less likely to develop colon cancer, and 2 to 4 times less likely to develop prostate cancer. Even with this wealth of new information, many doctors and patients are still so focused on treating cancer that cancer prevention is indirectly ignored. Cancer prevention is often a very pushed aside topic in this country because no one wants to change their diet or their lifestyle. However, Americans need to stop blaming the cause of cancer on inherited genes and start focusing on their own personal diets as a primary source of cancer prevention. Overall, a plant-based diet offers an all-natural, a God-made, and a powerhouse a solution that comes second to none when it comes to preventing and fighting cancer. The day that diet is used as a primary source of medicine in preventing and treating cancer will be the day that 1 out of every 3 Americans will stop fighting and dying from such a horrible yet oftentimes preventable sickness.